There's this piece of advice we've all been given our entire lives. Well, today, we're going to flip that advice completely on its head. We're going to explore the surprising and honestly the incredible power of self-doubt.
We've all heard this a million times, right? It's on motivational posters, it's what you hear in job interviews. The message is always the same. You've got to be confident to succeed.
But what if that's actually kind of bad advice? What if that relentless push for confidence is actually setting us up for failure? And what if the real key to getting smarter is hiding somewhere else entirely?
Okay, so let's dive right in by tackling what I like to call the confidence myth. We're going to see why feeling totally sure of yourself can sometimes be the most dangerous feeling you can have.
So here's the real problem. When confidence goes unchecked, when it's not tested against reality, it can very easily slip into false confidence. And that's the danger zone. That's when we feel like we know exactly what we're doing, even when we're dead wrong. It's like an illusion of skill.
And this state has some pretty serious consequences. It means we start ignoring critical feedback because, hey, we already know best, right? It leads us to make these completely avoidable, often really costly mistakes. And maybe the biggest one, it makes us a total sucker for our own cognitive biases. Those mental shortcuts our brain loves that can lead us way off track.
Okay, so if being overconfident is the problem, what's the solution? Well, this is where we get to the big idea. We're going to completely reframe self-doubt. See it not as a weakness, but as a kind of intellectual virtue. In fact, it might just be the truest sign of intelligence.
This right here is the heart of it. Just let that sink in for a second. Being truly smart isn't about always having the right answer from the get-go. It's about having the humility to wonder if your answer is even right in the first place.
Now, we need to be super clear about something here. I'm not talking about that crippling anxiety or that feeling of insecurity that holds you back. No way. The kind of doubt we're talking about is productive doubt. It's not about feeling bad about yourself. It's about being intellectually honest enough to say, you know what, maybe I should double-check that.
So, how do you do that? How do you actually use this productive doubt? Well, it turns out our brains have this amazing, built-in superpower designed for exactly this.
You know that voice, don't you? That little feeling you get right before you hit send on a really important email? That little internal nudge that goes, hang on a second, am I really sure about this? Have I thought this all the way through?
Well, that little voice has a name. It's called metacognition. It literally just means thinking about your thinking. It's our ability to kind of step outside our own brain for a second and just observe our own thought process.
I love this analogy. Using metacognition is like becoming a detective, but the crime scene is your own mind. You're looking for clues, you're questioning your own assumptions, and you're searching for what's actually true, not just what feels easy or comfortable.
All right, this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do we actually put it to work? Let's break down how you can turn this into a real habit that makes you a smarter thinker, day in and day out.
This slide just lays it all out perfectly. On the one hand, you've got the mind on autopilot. It just accepts the first thought that pops into its head, feels certain, and defends what it believes. But the metacognitive mind, that's the one we're aiming for. It questions that first thought, it looks for actual evidence, and it's willing to update its beliefs. And here's the most important part. You get to choose which one you want to be.
So how do you make that choice? You can start with this incredibly simple 3-step practice. First, just notice. Notice that feeling when you're absolutely sure about something. That's your trigger. Second, ask yourself, okay, how did I get to this conclusion? What's my evidence? And third, force yourself to seriously consider at least one other point of view.
And that's it. That small habit, notice, question, consider, that is your #1 defense against the trap of false confidence. And the best part? This isn't some personality trait, it's a skill. It's a muscle that you can actually build over time.
So I'll leave you with this. Now that you have this tool, this mental superpower, what's the first thing you're going to use it on? What's one important belief you hold, something you feel totally certain about, that you're going to choose to re-examine first?